My name is Darren James. I'm the owner and principal of Trev Deeley Harley-Davidson here in Vancouver. Really, this video shows that anybody out there can ride a motorcycle and ride a Harley-Davidson. From never riding a bike in your life to getting your license, you can do it on a Harley-Davidson motorcycle, and it doesn't matter, tall, short, lady, man, it doesn't matter. Anybody can ride a motorcycle.
So I'm hoping to go into this course and learn a little bit of information that I probably didn't learning by myself. And this was a perfect opportunity that Trev Deeley gave us.
I don't really have a background with motorcycles. Growing up in my family, they were always discouraged. It was a hard no. I grew up in a very conservative household, and it was one of the major rules was no motorcycles.
I'm hoping it's going to be like a super fun experience, and I'm just going to build on my base knowledge I have motorcycling already.
So going into this course, I'm really nervous. I feel like I'm going to expect everyone to already have an understanding of what they're doing and to kind of know about motorcycles or grew up around them, and like now they're here just to get their license and develop their skills. And I feel like I'm going to be kind of an outsider as one that had never been on a motorcycle. Honestly, just seeing Carly ride a motorcycle, I was like, well, if she can ride a motorcycle and she can't even ride a mountain bike, I'm pretty sure I will be okay doing this.
So I've moved to the left so he can see me. Now as I approach him, I'm going to move back over to the right side so that I have space.
I'm excited to go into ProRIDE and actually learn properly the safety measures and what to expect on the road and be out there with the whole crew.
We are the Canadian Snowboardcross national team.
Been on since 2014, just racing World Cup, Olympics, X Games, World Champs.
I'm here with Zoe Bergerman, the jokester of the team, Tess Critchlow, the relaxed girl, and my friend Melissa Rossi, who's just super keen to learn to ride.
I'm actually the only one of the group of girls here that isn't a professional athlete, but I am friends with the ladies. Carly Brenneman invited me to join along with them.
The reason we do this together is like women supporting women, showing that we can do things that is necessarily maybe a guy's thing or used to be a guy's thing to do. So it's super cool to get a whole bunch of women together, supporting each other, pushing each other, and learning a new skill and showing that we can do anything that guys can do and maybe even better.
You know, we start with a couple nights in the classroom because there is so much to learn about motorcycles. You know, it's very difficult to actually just put somebody on a motorcycle and say, okay, here are all the things you need to know.
Every time you guys roll your bike forward, you should be rolling your bike forward with your feet up, no matter how fast, no matter how slow.
It was really cool to show up to the class and see that there was like a doctor, a woman who was just retiring, like a 19-year-old that didn't even have their car driver's license yet. This is something that is accessible for anyone.
The way that the curriculum is designed is that everything that we do builds off the previous thing.
Well, we started just like trying gear on, learning about all the safety stuff, going through the books, learning what we need to know, safety on the road, and then we went to Trev Deeley, got geared up, got boots and a jacket, so safety, check.
The first day was like just things that you might have forgotten about from getting your driver's license, or things that might not be primary concerns for when you drive a car that are unique to riding a motorcycle.
Red and back to green again, you're still looking for neutral. 20 cars behind you, honking their horn, going, what the heck is going on here?
The classroom was super important, I think. The reasons being is they gave us a lot of visuals. I had never driven like a standard before, and I'd never even like rode a motorcycle. I like went on the back maybe one time. So having them just like walk through the controls and really kind of explain and set up what we'll be doing here in the parking lot was a good way to like mentally prepare. I think that it was a great way to meet the crew as well. Everybody kind of got to know each other in those first couple days, got to know the instructors, and it was really important for hazard identification. So they ran us through so many different possible scenarios, and then here they gave us the practical skills to be able to execute what needs to be done in that, whatever the particular scenario might be.
It was all really helpful once we got on the bike.
By the time they're coming out to the field and actually, you know, standing in front of an actual motorcycle, they already have an idea of what's going on. They have an idea of what they should and shouldn't be doing, and you know, sort of the fundamentals.
Well, you want to lift the weight up off the kickstand, pull the kickstand goal, and practice left and right.
I was definitely nervous. I've never been on a motorcycle before, and it seems like a great time, but just not understanding it and knowing what was going on or what could happen was my biggest fear.
Light on. See this little N right there?
So you want me to get up in neutral?
Yeah, if you guys could put the bikes into neutral, please. Oh, you're in neutral. Nicely done.
I don't want to turn down like an amazing, fun opportunity or to learn a new skill because there's some risk involved. I think that like risk is what makes it appealing in a lot of ways.
Certainly with these ladies, but right across the board, any student, you know, you kind of see that nervousness at first when they're coming in because they know there's an element of risk in there. Obviously, we discuss that element of risk in the classroom, and so usually after the first day, there's a little bit of like, holy smokes, what did I get myself into? But as the class progresses, as the students progress through each class, you know, the mood tends to lighten up. Their minds are put a little bit more at ease as they learn to develop that skill and that control of the bike. And you know, the ladies went through the first exercise, and the minute they got, you know, from the minute they got off, you know, they were just all smiles. They were laughing. They couldn't believe how much fun they were having learning how to ride their bike. A lot of them couldn't even wait to get off the bike before they were already yelling about how much fun it was. And when you're not thinking about it as much as you have to, then suddenly it becomes a lot more fun.
Styles are coming out completely.
It was really humorous and exciting and not so serious, and it was a really fun working environment to learn a new skill.
One of the more difficult things to do on a motorcycle is to be able to ride at slow speed in tight quarters. A lot of experienced riders do struggle with that.
The slalom, I felt like it was going well, and then you get off rhythm a little bit, and then it just adds up quickly. That was hard.
Because we know how difficult and how challenging it is, we're going to start with maneuvering your bike at slow speed in tight quarters.
Taking us through some of these courses, it was really frustrating at first, and you feel like you're not quite sure how you're going to get it.
Keep going. Now ride through it, don't come out, ride through it. Keep going all the way, all the way, all the way. Hey!
And then there's just that moment where it feels like how it should, and you know that you know you've improved.
Not until they feel some comfort and some level of consistency with that do we actually move on to faster speed, sort of shifting gear type of stuff.
I really liked just ripping around, basically. Anything, like once we were allowed to go into second gear and go a little faster, it was a lot of fun.
I went home immediately and told like 3 of my friends, like, I rode a Harley today, like my first time ever.
From what you can see here, we do have the Harley-Davidson bikes. We're actually the only school that has Harley-Davidson bikes, you know, in the Lower Mainland. So anybody who is looking to get on a Harley-Davidson bike at some point, you know, this is where you're going to learn how to ride a Harley-Davidson bike.
We started on the Harleys. They're super fun. They're really smooth and are a lot more maneuverable than I thought they would be.
So this is the first bike I've ever ridden, ever. And it was awesome. It was super cool. And I felt like when I sat down on it, I'm like, oh, this is so big. I don't know how I'm going to be able to handle it. And you just go and you feel it out.
Honestly, I think it was easier. Everyone gives Harley flack for like being such a big bike and so heavy, but once you're on it and going, like it just goes so comfortably and so easily. And that was my favorite part for sure. Love the Harleys.
You know, I make it too hard, you guys don't make it past the test. You guys got to come back next week and redo it. We don't want to see you back next week.
Yeah, I mean, they do, but like.
Yeah, so we've had our fill. Let's just get you guys past this thing today.
Tomorrow, we do a little skills test on the cones. So the girls who don't have their licenses, that's kind of the first test they have. And once they pass that, then on the traffic day on Monday, we learn how to ride in traffic together.
I feel confident in this parking lot, and I feel like I could do some maybe like little road cruising.
A lot of people look at motorcycling as a dangerous activity. There is an element of risk, and you know, but coming in, I think, and getting the proper training is the key to, you know, sort of learning how to handle yourself in those situations. a lot of experienced drivers kind of have this false sense of, oh, well, I've been driving for X number of years, or I've been on dirt bikes for X number of years, so I should be okay to suddenly cross that barrier and be on a bike on the road in traffic. And you know, it's just another element that they haven't yet experienced, right? Going through a proper training school, you know, will hopefully arm them with the tools that they need to be able to enjoy the activity safely.
First one done. Woo! Stall
survived.
again.
You guys were doing great out there today. A ton of confidence. It's just a matter of getting out there and doing some city ride. You're all ready for the second ride. Sometimes people aren't. Sometimes they're not. If they're not comfortable doing 50K, they're not going to be comfortable doing 80 or 90. All right, so the rest of it is going to be around the city, lots of traffic around you.
I think honestly the most challenging thing is just having like the confidence and like relaxing a little bit and just understanding that you've been given all the tools that you need to succeed, and trusting yourself to be able to use those tools when the time comes.
There's a classroom component, there's a parking lot component, and then eventually there's a road component. After that, we take the students to the road test and sort of, you know, give them the test day support that they need to be able to, you know, get past that challenge and hopefully walk away with a full license.
We got to Trev Deeley in the morning, and I think we were all like super anxious. We got on all these brand new Harleys, which was first for all of us.
I still remember getting on, and as I let out the clutch, it was just so nice.
Literally left Harley, and within 50 feet was blown back onto the back of my seat by putting too much gas on, and that was just like a smile on my face instantly, just feeling the power of the bike.
It just like drove itself. I was like, oh my goodness, where have you been all my life?
Yeah.
Like from that moment on, I was like, okay, we're gonna, like, today's gonna be fine.
Yeah. Went downtown, first time in like real traffic for these girls, and they killed it.
Being there on a bike, it was actually fun. I feel like I actually enjoyed the city for the first time. We went to Stanley Park, which was awesome. We got to cruise around through the forest, which is something unique to Vancouver. You know, not everyone gets to cruise through the city and the forest in the same day.
And I think we all just had smiles on our face like the whole day. And then over the Lionsgate Bridge, onto the highway with these girls. Test out the throttle on the bike for the first time. Give it a little too much gas and you're like, oh my God.
It was so much fun. Actually getting to lean into the turns and accelerate out of them and feel the power of the bike going up the mountain.
And then up Cypress Mountain to peek it out overlooking the city. It was a perfect first ride.
So much fun, I can't wait to do it again. Oh my goodness, felt so good. It was like to think about us going from a classroom to the parking lot to our first ride and then all the way up to the mountain. It was like, wow, like we actually got out here on brand new Harleys and it was the best experience ever.
Yeah, and it took you guys like a weekend to be comfortable to do that.
That was the best part.
That was super cool.
It's like anybody can do this, and if you have any interest in doing it, just take the course. Like, get the skills that you need to be safe and enjoy this like awesome new skill.